Hey guys, Spider here for NGTZombies. Welcome to our Easter egg compilation for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Exo Zombies on the new carrier map, which was part of the Supremacy DLC. The achievement is called Flotsam Jetsam. Sink the boat in carrier, so let's get started right now. Alright guys, so here's step one. The first thing we're going to want to do is get the teleport grenades, or we call them telefrags, okay? You can buy them off the wall in the armory right there. Now what I will say is you want to try and do these steps as early as possible in the game, okay? Because there are steps later on that are going to require you to go through multiple rounds, alright? So, I mean, the higher the round you get, the harder and more difficult this is going to become, alright? So you want to try and get this done early on. So what you're going to want to do is, after you get the cargo bay open, is activate Chompy. It costs 500 points, and you're going to want to telefrag right into the room that Chompy comes out of, okay? You got to be quick to do it. You can do it either when he comes out, immediately after he comes out, or, you know, after he does his path. But if you're doing this solo, you got to be careful, because if you have one zombie, he might kill the zombie, right? You can do it at the end, just before he goes back in. And check out the Plinko board, okay? So it's changed. Just as a general overview, the goal here is to get frags in the grenade disposal and somehow get them to fill up those slots where those 3 red lights are, okay? And as you do it, you'll see them become green lights. So we'll explain it as we go through each step. The first thing you want to do is get a telefrag in there, and that moves that slot. See that slot, how it moved over to the left-hand side? That's the slot that drops your grenade down. So that's how we move it over. So you're going to need 3 telefrags, 1 for each red light that we need to fill, okay, to move it over. Because once you complete each step, it's going to go back into the center. So you want to use contact grenades for this, alright? I mean, you can use your regular grenades if you have any left, but I would highly recommend you purchase contact grenades, because you can basically aim at this thing for as long as you want. Because the pattern, the whole pattern, right? The way it opens up and closes and moves gets more complicated as we go. So this is a bit out of order, but I did it just to show you that you don't have to do it necessarily in the same order every single time, alright? Now, if you notice what we did there, you see the symbol that's over top the slot? It shows you what type of grenade, that if you launch a regular grenade or a contact grenade in there, that's basically what that grenade turns into, okay? So the X is a distraction drone. So when you throw your grenade into the slot, your grenade basically turns into a distraction drone. It's the distraction drones that's going to allow whatever next grenade you throw in there to distract over to the right-hand side and fill the slot. Now, you can pretty much throw, I believe, any grenade in there now. So it doesn't matter what the symbol is on the slot, just throw a grenade, and I think anything that drops down there is going to distract over to the right-hand side, and we'll see here in a second. So we're setting up for a second grenade, and it happens to be the explosive drone right there. That's that blue light, the single blue light is explosive drone. It drops down, it hits the distraction drone, and then it fires over to the right-hand side, and we now have our green light. One thing I should note, though, like, I would probably try and keep it as the regular grenades. The regular grenades is kind of like the 3 lights, the 3 orange lights. That's the regular grenade. I would try to keep that if that's the one you're trying to send over to the right-hand side. Try and make sure that the symbol is that. One thing I should also note, though, if you do have distraction drones, you can just throw a distraction drone, and you know, that's what you need on the left-hand side, which is what you need for the first drop when you're doing the first light. If you have a distraction drone, just throw your distraction drone in. It won't change. Whatever symbol it has on the slot won't change. It only changes your regular grenade into what it shows on the slot, okay? So we're going to skip back to do the second light, right? Because we did this one first. It's sort of out of order. All right, so the first thing you want to do is throw an explosive drone. So wait for the explosive drone symbol, which is the single little blue light. And we got our grenade in there. Now that explosive drone acts as a peg. So if we were to drop a regular grenade in there, it would drop down, hit the explosive drone peg, and then go off to the side, and then hit the other pegs, like those angled pegs, and then drop down to that second unlit red light. Well, it's just going to drop down there. It's not really going to do anything. We might get some points. What we need down there is another distraction drone. So this next step is to throw a distraction drone in there. It's going to drop down, hit that peg, hit the angled pegs, and then drop into that second red light. And that will be what will allow us to get the regular grenade over to the right-hand side again. So here we are waiting for the distraction drone to light up. There we go. Now it drops down. The thing you got to notice is that explosive grenade peg is now gone. So what we got to do in order to get the regular grenade down there, we got to hit the explosive grenade again, okay, to create another peg because the peg's gone. And that'll be our last step. We get the regular grenade in, and then we have that second light. We'll have that lit up green. All right, here we are. We got to get the explosive grenade and then the regular frag grenade, okay? I will say also that at the start of each round, the slot basically resets. So if you're having trouble and the slot is just, you know, it's moving around and it's really complicated to try and time to get your grenade in there, you wait until the next round and it just resets, so it's standing still. You'll be able to get at least your first frag in there pretty easily, all right? So now we have the second light lit up. So we had the first one, the second one. Now we got to do the third one, which is obviously going to be the most complicated. Okay, so for the third slot, what you got to do first, obviously, is get the telefrag over there, so the slot's over the left-hand side. Then we're going to get an explosive drone, okay, to create that first peg. Now what we got to get down to the next slot is a nano grenade, okay? It's the big blue sphere symbol. Okay, so what happens is it drops down to that second peg because we don't have those angled pegs on that second slot that are going to drop it down into the third, you know, where that third red unlit light is. Well, what the nano grenade does, similar to the distraction drone distracts the grenade over to the right. The nano grenade actually teleports your grenade down to that next light, okay? So if we had a nano grenade on the first unlit red one, we dropped a grenade down onto that, then it would teleport that grenade onto the second unlit red light. Well, we need basically a distraction drone down on that bottom third unlit red light on the left, right? No, left. I mean, correct? So now we got to get an explosive drone grenade down there. There we go. And now we get our distraction drone. See how it teleported down to that third light, right? So now we got to do basically what we just did, but instead of dropping the distraction drone, we got to drop a regular grenade. So we got to get a nano grenade down to the second slot, another explosive drone on the first slot, and then drop a regular grenade. So it hits the first slot, it drops down to the nano grenade, it teleports down to the distraction drone, and then goes over to the right-hand side. See how complicated it is? All right, here we go. We've got explosive drone. Then we got to do the nano grenade there, and then we need another explosive drone. And finally, a regular grenade, and that's going to light up the last light. There we go, and then we got this data pad that we can collect. Remember, if you have nano grenades, they'll act, you know, you can use a nano grenade instead of a regular grenade like we did, or like I explained for the distraction drone. So now we got to deliver to the data pad that's in our inventory. It's to the right of our player card, to the door on the gun deck. That's the door to the engine room. We got to blow the engine room, okay? Now, if you haven't been up here previously, there should be a green light already on it. You hit X on the door. You might have to wait for Oz to read a captain's log. Wait until he's done reading it for the first time, then hit X on the door again, and that will deposit the data pad and basically provide the door with one unlock code. Now we got to find the other three. Alright, so in order to get the next data pad, you guys are going to like this one, we got to get drunk, okay, in-game. Now, the way we get drunk is we have to give this weapon disposal guy weapons that he likes. I mean, obviously, he didn't like the pistol. We're going to try a mayhem, see if he likes that. And what he's going to give us, hopefully, if you give him the right weapon, is a bottle. It's a bottle of alcohol. Now, I mean, you could do this before you're done the Plinko board or before you got the other data pad, and he gets powered the same way the Plinko board gets powered via the Chompy's little power generator in his little room, his storage room. So now what you're going to want to do is get drunk. You only have to have one player do this. If you're playing with more than one player, you're not playing solo, only one person has to get drunk, but everybody has to stay in this area, okay? You can't go outside this area because you're going to notice that we see these laser beams that are going to show up, and it's only the drunk people that can see it. I mean, everybody can get drunk to see it, but you only need one person to traverse this maze. So you hit that switch right there, and we're playing two-player, gives us 4 minutes. If you're playing single-player, gives you 2 minutes, and I think if you're playing like 3 or 4, gives you more minutes. So you basically have to jump and not hit the laser beams, okay? The hardest part is this room. The hardest part is the cargo bay, but use your double jump. I mean, you can't use your other Exo dodge abilities, okay? You can only use the double jump. So now we're going to crouch through here, and we're gonna make our way to the moon bay. Make sure you have all the appropriate doors open, okay? You gotta have the moon bay open and the door that's gonna get you to the hangar, all right? So we're gonna run down here. You can actually stand up. You can see this maze of like laser beams. I mean, you could jump through there to the right, but it's definitely easier to go around to the left here. Okay, so we're gonna jump up onto this platform here and go right. Now we have to crouch through these areas. You never have to go prone, just crouch through here, and we're gonna go right. We're gonna crouch through there. You know, the first few times we did it was pretty difficult. Like I said, the cargo room is the more difficult spot. If you want to, you know, you don't want to hit anything going crouching through those areas, then just wait for the turn of the ship to basically come level and you'll be fine. So we're going to jump over here, and the second data pad is right there in front of the teleporter. We're going to pick that up, and then the lasers are gone. All right, in order to get rid of your drunkenness, you have to go and disinfect and just stand on the pad. Sometimes I've seen sometimes where it doesn't work, but I think possibly that you get sober again just after time. So we're going to go to the door. We're going to hit X. We drop the data pad, and we have now 3 green lights. All right, so that is the second data pad. We need 2 more. All right, guys, so for the third data pad, you're going to want to get access to this teleporter. And if you walk up to it for the first time and hit X on it, it will give you an audio clue that it's not functional. It needs parts, okay? So what we got to do is find parts for that teleporter. So how you get these parts is you have to kill the blue teleporting zombies. See that guy right there? And he drops that, okay? It looks exactly like a telefrag. So you basically go, you got to kill these guys, you got to pick those up, and then you got to deposit them at the teleporter. So we're going to walk over to it, and as soon as our Exo reboots, we're going to see that it's in our inventory, right there to the right of our security card. And now we're going to want to go back into the biolab and deposit it, okay? So what you want to do is make sure that you don't kill any other teleporting zombies until you've deposited that part. Okay, now there is an audio indication from the teleporter that will indicate your progression. You have to get, at least with 2 players, we counted a total of 20 of these things, okay, that you have to deposit. Now, considering the spawn rate of the teleporting zombies, it's going to take you several rounds. It might be less running solo. It might be more when you're running 3 or 4 players. I don't know, but I know for a fact that it's 20 parts to complete it when you're running 2 players. So there's definite clear indication once you've deposited the last part, because the teleporter is going to stay lit up. There we go. We're done. The teleporter is done. We're ready to teleport. However, we need something essential before we teleport. So Spider, what do we need? Well, we need something that we can only obtain by fishing. Well, how do we fish? Well, we have to complete the build of a fishing rod. We got to give this guy weapons until he gives us all the components. There are 3 components. You go to the gun deck, there's this rod sitting there. Well, it doesn't have a reel on. Well, now it does. It's got a reel. Well, it doesn't have fishing line. All right, well, let's go see what the weapon disposal guy can do for us. All right, so it is kind of random, but kind of not what you get for certain weapons. Sometimes he'll just give you 200 points. Sometimes he will give you components. So there is the line. Hyper got the line. We're going to go back onto the gun deck. We're going to attach the line now to the rod. There we go. We'll see it. There, it's red. See, we got the red line. And now we need a hook. Okay, so there goes Hyper again. He's giving him his gun, and he ends up getting... There's the hook right there. Boom. All right, so we have the hook. We have the last component for the fishing rod. Okay, so we're going to go up here. We're going to assemble the final component, and then we're going to be able to fish. It costs 100 points to fish. And keep in mind that this fishing rod can be assembled at any point in the game. It doesn't matter. You don't have to wait until this step. You could have done it a long time ago. But we're going to fish until we get a shovel. Yay, it happened the first time. Sometimes it doesn't happen the first time. You got to fish a lot in order to get that shovel. But that's exactly what we need before we teleport, all right, guys? So now we're going to teleport. Keep in mind, if you do get the shovel before you complete the teleporter, before you complete depositing the components will replace your shovel. So you're just going to have to go back and get the shovel again anyway, so you may as well wait until the teleporter is fully functional. And let's go! Teleporting in progress in. Wow, we're on some tropical island. What's going on? don't feed the fish. So what you want to do, you want to look down at the ground and hit X. You got to have the shovel. Multiple players can go and do this, so it might be easier if you have multiple players. See, we have all these dig sites. The first time we did this, I mean, I think it was like the first time I'd even tried it, we ended up getting what we needed. So I'm just trying around. I'm going to show you the failed attempt. You don't have a lot of time, so you just got to keep digging around, and it does sort of keep your place. Like, it does show you where you have dug in prior teleports. Okay, so we're back on site. We're still digging, and I end up hitting it. You can hear it. There it is. There's the box. I'm opening it. No, I get teleported back. Oh my god, game, how could you do that to me? So here we go. I just teleported back again, and just looking for the box. There it is. It's open, and lo and behold, who buried a data pad in a box on this tropical lonely island anyway? That's what I'd like to know. All right, so we're back on the ship with the data pad. We're going up to the gun deck. We're going to hit the door, and lo and behold, we now have 4 lights. We have 1 data pad left. Let's do this. Okay, guys, for this last step, I'm not entirely sure that you don't have to do this before you go for the next data pad, all right? See, we got DJ's locker. This is in the hangar. We have Captain DJ, okay? That's where the last data pad is, but there's a Retina scanner that is on the locker, so we have to find something for the Retina scanner. When you go up and hit X on this, after you've completed the 3rd data pad, you go up and hit X on the locker, you will get an audio cue, and then you continue on. Like I said, the only reason I'm putting it in here is because we've done it every single time we've done the Easter egg, so I cannot confirm that you don't have to do it. It is a good idea and good practice after you finish the 3rd data pad from the island, come into the locker and make sure you hit X and make sure you get that audio indication before continuing on with this step, okay? So we're on to the final data pad. We gotta find a treasure drone, okay? But it's not just one, we gotta find 2 of them. They're gonna spawn in 2 at a time now, and remember, it's gonna take a few rounds. You wanna shoot down the one that doesn't have the regular green drop in it. You can tell the other one had this green drop in, this one doesn't, and we get a picture from above. It has something in it that we need. It's a component. I don't end up destroying the drone here. You can destroy the drone, it'll drop, but it'll still drop even though I didn't destroy it. And I didn't get a good look at it here, but if we go around, see that indicator there? We're gonna get a look at it when we drop down here. I'm gonna pause, and there's the indicator right there. So we're gonna put a circle around that. That's what you want, right there. So a few rounds later, we end up coming back in there and actually noticing it. It's like, oh, hey, here's the component. It looks like a switch. It's part of a disconnect or a power box, okay? So it turns the power on and off. So we got to find a place for it. And lo and behold, there is a place for it in the moon pool. Right up here, there's an electrical box. You can see it's sort of missing a switch right there. So if we hit X, we have the switch in our inventory. We hit X a couple of different times. It's kind of weird. You got to be at the right angle to it. And it puts it on that electrical box. And now that electrical box is active. We can actually walk up to it and it gives us an indicator. So we're going to do that right now and check it out. Hold X to activate cage. Well, that's the cage above the moon pool. We have to activate that somehow, but we need to do something first before we do so. So the first thing we need before we activate the cage is we need a fish. We need a fish in our inventory. You can get that by fishing off the gun deck, and it might take you a few casts. We got it right there, so we have the fish in our inventory. No, it's not a red herring, okay? So now we got to go back to the moon pool, and before we go in the cage, we have to attract a shark. Well, how do we attract a shark? We have to kill zombies above one of these 3 square pads. They have slots in them, or slits, and when you kill zombies on top of them, the blood actually goes down into the water, and it's the blood that attracts the shark to the moon pool, okay? So we got to kill enough zombies, make sure, see the blood seeping down there, make sure there's enough blood. It takes a few zombies, all right? It's not just 1 or 2, and we're going to see a shark here swimming around here in a second. Where is he? Where is he? There he is! There he is! All right? So we're good. We got to go activate the cage now. So we're actually doing this in the middle of a pretty hectic round here. So we're gonna kill that guy, hits the switch, there we go, 1,000 points, and you can see the moon pool is gonna open, the cage is gonna come down, and you can jump on top of it. The cage opens on the top. You can jump right in. There you go, okay? So we got our knife out. Now, my tendency was to hit R2 to knife this shark. It always appears, I think, to the right of that open part, like right there. We're going to see he was right there on the right-hand side. I was spinning around, so I didn't see him the first time. But instead of hitting R2, we're going to activate this again. What you want to do is just face the shark. You have the fish. You're going to hold X, okay? So X somehow exchanges the fish for something. We don't have our HUD, so we can't see. There's the shark. Hold X, hold X, hold X. And then when we come out of the water, there we go. We have an eyeball, right? We need the eyeball. What do we need the eyeball for? Well, the eyeball is going to be used to open Captain DJ's locker. See, it's a Retina scanner that actually opens the lockers. Pretty neat, huh? Retina scanner. Okay, so we needed an eyeball. I don't know. Don't ask me why the shark had an eyeball and how we just hit X and exchanged a fish for an eyeball. But there we go. Data pad is on the bottom. We grabbed the data pad. We're gonna bring it back up to the gun deck, and that is the fourth and final data pad, ladies and gentlemen. So we're back up on the gun deck. We're gonna hit the door, and there we go. We got all 5 green lights. Now what? Well, the weapon disposal guy has one final trick up his sleeve, although he doesn't have any sleeves. Yes, thank you. He gave us C4. You exchange a gun, you get C4. We're gonna bring C4 up to the door, and that's it. You hit X on the door. Notice on step 3, when we were done the third data pad, we actually unlocked the upgrade for Mark 25. So I do have the LZ52 Limbo Mark 25. Yeah! Woo! Okay, so you just go up with the C4, hit X on the door, and that's it! Achievement achieved! Enjoy the ending cutscene, and I hope the video helped you guys out.
That did it.
This ship's about to become one big tax write-off.
Who pays taxes?
Hey, no one gives a fuck, okay? We got 2 minutes before we're all guzzling seawater. Move!
There! Lilith, what are you doing?
Oz?
Are you kidding me? Oz is dead. That asshole shot him. It's just another stupid zombie. Let's just go already.
Come on, people, we don't have time for this. Shit.